Hey YouTube, how you doing? This is Pastor Nate. It is January the 4th. It is a Saturday morning around about 5 a.m. I want to continue to talk about the situation that happened at IHOP up there in Virginia. It's unfortunate it happened, and I don't rejoice in anyone's downfall. But the reason why I am talking about it now because there's always a lesson in these things, and I want to kind of point that out. First of all, James teaches us that we should be slow to speak and slow to anger, right? And swift to hear. So I want to focus on the anger part. It's a trick of the devil. I still go back to what I said in my previous video. If that young lady hadn't walked up to the IHOP, then this wouldn't have happened. The devil sets traps, y'all. We got to use wisdom. Yeah, I said that too. And we got to think before we react because it can affect us. You got children, you got family members. If something were to happen where you get locked up, then what's going to happen to your family? You got to think about all that stuff. So now I'm on the understanding that the content creator is running. It's kind of like, running. Now, after you've thought about what could possibly happen, now you're, evading arrest, so to speak. I'm assuming. I don't know. This is what you've been hearing. But if that is the case, that's unfortunate, but I pray that it's a lesson learned. This is not only specific to the situation that happened in Virginia, but I think a lot of people represent this situation. So, we can say we big and bad. We can get on and we can brag about this, I'm that, and nothing can happen to me. And you're doing all the doxing. It's unfortunate that the doxing took place in the posting of people's deceased loved ones. And somebody might say, well, the other content hit first. She just responding to what came at her. But y'all, there's a limit. We only should go so far. When you post on people's dead loved ones and, you're doxing and all these different things, I think that's going too far. So, but that doesn't make it right from both parties, right? Two wrongs don't make a right. So whoever initiate and whoever respond, both are wrong. Sometimes you just have to let God handle stuff. See, we got to start letting God fight these battles. We reap what we sow. We call it karma, and I don't know if the church should necessarily use the word karma, but essentially it just means being responsible for your actions and suffering the consequences. Galatians teaches us about reaping and sowing. As a man sow, that shall he reap. We're going to reap what we sow. So whatever you put out there, whatever you do, it's going to come back. It's a law. It's inevitable. That's why I encourage people to be careful what you say and be careful what you do, because that stuff is going to come back. So if you sow corruption, you're going to reap corruption. If you sow good things, you're going to reap good things. So maybe it's your time to reap what was sown. Again, it's unfortunate, but the lesson in this is, just let justice take its course, and whatever God sees fit to happen, it won't kill you. Just come out of it and be a better person. And when you come out of it, do things differently. We say we big and bad and we brag on, what we'll do, and we're untouchable. Nobody can do nothing. I've even seen the video, she was bleeding, and you know how people boast and brag in their stuff, and it's like, you big and bad now, why don't you just continue to stand in your stuff? No, after you thought about what could possibly happen, it's kind of scary now. It's frightening now. So, I often say, I'm not trying to be all spiritually deep, but God does not play. We say it all the time, God doesn't like ugly. Vengeance is mine, said the Lord, which is all part of reaping and sowing. So I don't care how big and how bad you are. And God is bigger and God is badder. I know that's incorrect English, but he is. If you don't believe me, ask Apostle Paul. Paul was on his way to Damascus. He got knocked off his horse, right? And a voice came and said, essentially Jesus said, Paul, is hard to kick against the prick. Paul was killing Christians and persecuting them for, declaring the name of Jesus. But when you do ugly, God will tap you on your shoulder and say, enough is enough. Paul was blinded, but he received his sight. Many of us have experienced these downfalls in life because we failed to listen, because we didn't reap, we didn't sow good things. We harmed other people, and we caused a lot of hardships, on families. And some may have taken others' wives and husbands, and some may have just, the list can just go on and on. That stuff comes back. And many of us don't stop. It's like we don't have a conscience. We keep going on and on and on. And that's kind of what I saw in this situation here, especially with the posting of the deceased loved ones. I'm like, oh my gosh, YouTube let us do all this? Do we have a conscience? I was like, wow. So sometimes God will tap you on your shoulder and say, enough is enough. You know, that's why the scriptures, it tells us to humble ourselves, because we don't want God to do it. We have to humble ourselves. I do a lot of philanthropic work, and we talk to many people in the shelters and the missions and at the Salvation Army, and many will tell you that, if I can go back and redo what I've done, I would do some things different. I've heard a lot of people, and I caused myself to get here at this place. Some of them will tell you that. So, let this be a lesson, just those of you who are operating in this manner, go ahead and change while you're ahead, because we got to give an account for what we say and what we do. We got to be accountable. And I think this is what's going on right now. We're going to let justice take its course, and the justice system and the legal system, we trust that it will do what needs to be done. But the thing about it is, whatever the punishment is, when you come out of this here, do things differently. When you come out of this here, be humble, okay? Just because we can't continue to go on like this. You can't continue to do this. God is not going to continue to let you hurt people and can continue to let you mistreat people. And not only her, but whoever, if the other person initiated the doctrine or whatever, that person too. Let this be a message to everyone who's involved in that. So I just want to come on here and give my commentary. You can run, but you cannot hide. Right? You can run, but you can't hide. So just be mindful of that. All right, my friend. I was just sitting here thinking about it here. I'm in the dark here in my home, just sitting here thinking about that. I'm like, let me just get over here and on here and just kind of drop a nugget. And hopefully this will remind someone. Hopefully this will help somebody. Hopefully this will bring some clarification, because we want to be the best that we can be. We want everything that God has for us. And sometimes the route that we're going, the things that we're involved in, it's not God's best for us. And that's, he chasing whom he loves. The Lord loves that young lady up there in Virginia. He really does. And that's why sometimes he got to spank that butt, because he chasing whom he loves. You won't listen. You won't stop. You're going too far. So God have to say, look, enough is enough now, before it gets too far gone. Let me go ahead and allow this to happen and just kind of spank you a little bit, make you a little bit uncomfortable. So next time you'll think twice about doing this. Okay, my friend, this is Pastor Nate. All right. And I'm going to come back. I don't think I'm going to make another video. I'll be back Tuesday at 8 when we go live. In the meantime, be at peace and not in pieces. Till next time, my friend.